Are you living in your fullest potential? That's a big question to ask, right? So, we are talking about living in your fullest potential. Give it in 100% every single day. Let me tell you a little bit about me so you can understand a little better why I'm talking about this. I was born in Cuba. I also was raised in Costa Rica, raised by a single mom. My dad was in the picture, however, he was not responsible. So you can imagine how hard it was. When I was 14, we came to the United States. And as soon as I turned 16, I started working to support my mom and help her out as much as I could. Because I only had it was like a part-time job. And then after that, I got like 3 jobs when I was 16, to be honest with you. I was 16, I started working in a theater. It's like a movie theater. It was like a part-time job, like 3 days a week, but long hours. So imagine. After that, I only lasted like 2 months there. Got another job in a clothing store. And I lasted like 2 months there as well. I really needed big money to be able to either help my mom or live alone. Those were the 2 options that I had. At the time, I really didn't have a good relationship with my mom. So the best option for me at that time was to be independent. And at the time I was, I think, like 18. Yeah, 18. And I turned 18. I feel like as soon as I turned 18, I literally started just arranging to live by myself. Because I couldn't stand the situation in my household with my mom. She was a single parent. I was the only one left at home. All the other siblings have grown up and they lived in their own houses. And I was the only one left. And unfortunately, we couldn't get along at that point in life. It was kind of like impossible. I tried a lot, but unfortunately, I don't blame it on my mom, but she had a lot of pain that she was dumping on me in a way, and I just couldn't take it anymore. Like, it was traumatizing. And I completely understand it right now, all the pain that she went through. You kind of like, you eventually like explode and put all of that into your kids. Even though they're innocent, they didn't ask to be here, right? But yeah, that was something I understood later in life, because at that moment it was really hard for me to deal with her. I did not understand her, and it was impossible to live together. There was no respect whatsoever. She didn't have no respect for me. I lost the respect for her. It was like a bad situation. So I had to start looking for a place, and got a place. It was like it's like a small. It was like a small apartment that like an old couple created in the backyard. So I rented that little apartment and started living by myself. I was making a lot of money for my age. I was in high school. I wasn't even graduated or anything, but I was still in high school. I was making literally a lot of money. I was probably making like $400 a week. I mean, it was like 2011, more or less. And that was a lot of money for an 18-year-old. So I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm making money, blah, blah, blah. You know, that was a lot back then. So I thought that I had to figure out. Obviously, no, I didn't. But life showed me little by little that I did not have it figured out. I was just a kiddo. I was just a baby trying to figure out life, thinking that I'm independent, thinking that I'm responsible. Obviously, honestly, I think I had a good attitude about life because I wasn't expecting nobody to take care of me. I wanted to work hard and I wanted to be independent, which I think some of these kids from now, this age, if some of the like Gen Zs and all that, they really need to get it together because these kids are like way too spoiled for my taste, to be honest. So I feel like my attitude towards work ethic and working hard and being independent, it was right. I feel like my approach and how I did things wasn't the best because I kind of like got ahead of myself a little bit and I didn't know how to be patient and how to be a little bit tolerant with my mom and maybe working around her to make things work in a way. But at that moment, I really didn't have any patience left because it has been years and years of like trauma dumping and pain and all of these things. I didn't have an ounce of tolerance and patience. So we do what we do because we have a reason, and I don't really regret anything I did. Now, counting back with a lot more experience and more maturity, I think some things could have been done differently to get a different outcome. However, only you are in your shoes and only you know what you go through and only you know how you feel and only you know what route to take at that point, to be honest with you. So yeah, I left alone. However, I had an accident with my foot. I twisted my ankle and things started to crumble down because it was a really severe injury and I couldn't walk. And my work, I was a waitress at that time, and my work was about me standing up and walking miles a day. Literally, that's what waitresses do. So I couldn't walk for a good month. It was bad. So yeah, basically I couldn't work, I couldn't make money, so I had to lose my apartment and go back home. And this time around, my mom had a boyfriend. It was really uncomfortable, and she kind of like recovered her independence in a way. Like she recovered her freedom in a way as well. So imagine, I can completely understand that you're thinking, oh, my last kid is out of the house, she's independent, now I'm free again, right? And I completely understand that I ruined that for her, but that's why I say that kids are forever. You cannot think that you have a kid and you're turning 18, that's over. No, it's a job forever until you die. Because a good parent is there for the kids forever until you're no longer here. That's why you exist as a parent, literally, to be their support system. I mean, I would say not economically, but in bad moments like that, your kid literally needs you in that moment like that. It's really nice to have a parent that can offer you, let's say, a home to live for a couple months, or until you get situated. So yeah, I had to go back home with her. I feel like a foreigner, literally living with my mom at that point. I was living in the living room. It was a 1-bedroom apartment that she had with her boyfriend, and it was like very uncomfortable, and I did feel like a foreigner. It didn't feel like home at all. So imagine how that must have felt. However, it's my fault because I said that I was an adult, and it was my fault, I said that I failed. My plan failed. It's completely my fault, and I had to take accountability out of that. But my mom is a good mom. She received me, and yeah. But after that, after a month and a half, I recovered myself, and it was kind of like it was different. I tried to get a similar job because obviously I lost my job after a month of not working. Imagine that. I got a similar job. I got, my feet together, my stuff together. And I moved in with my sister. Because, imagine how uncomfortable it is to live with a boyfriend and your mom and things like that. That didn't work out. So I moved in with my sister. We lived for a little while. And yeah, I don't want to make it too long. But yeah, just a little bit about my story. Life in general hasn't been easy. If I tell you step by step of everything that I've been through, we're going to be here for 5 hours, probably, or longer. So I don't want to make it too long. The point is, are you living through your potential? Are you living in 100%? Are you executing life at 100%? Or are you simply letting life to consume you, letting depression to consume you, letting sadness to consume you, or letting negativity to consume you? Because let me tell you from experience, I had depression seasons in my life where getting out of bed was the only thing I did in the whole day, maybe once. And I know what it's like to be depressed. And if it wasn't for God, literally me praying to God to take me out of that situation, I could have never, break through that. So believe me, I know what it feels like, thinking that your life is miserable, thinking that your life is like BS, and why is, comparing yourself to other people, why is it that they get to have that and I don't? It's so easy, so easy to do that. But believe me, you are not gonna be here in this lifetime if you didn't have an important mission to complete. So think about it. Why are you here? Are you letting life consume you, the devil? Because believe me, guys, these things are real. These things are real. There's people that are pursued by the devil, or pursued by, if you want to call it the enemy, that's fine, the devil, whoever you want to call it. There's people that are in this lifetime, like the devil knows that you're here, that you have so much potential, that you have so much to give, but he's literally on your foot, trying to get you in bed and never wake up or never get up out of bed. Believe me. So are you letting the devil win on a regular basis? Let me tell you a little story that happened to me very recently. I was in a job that I completely hated. Well, I didn't hate it. I just didn't feel suited for that. I know I had so much to give that the job was too small for me. I don't know, but sometimes you know what you have inside, but the devil tells you so many lies about yourself that you're not really qualified, you don't really have the talent, you don't really have the skill for it, and it makes you small. But you know inside that you are big. You know inside that you have the skills, that you have the mindset for a certain task, right? So this job that I got like 2 months ago was way too small for me. Like, the pay wasn't it, the place wasn't it. It was like in a really bad zone, in a really bad area, and it was just really bad. So literally, I did a water fast the day I quit. So the whole day I water fasted. When it was like 5 p.m., almost time to go, I got literally this message. This is why it's so important to fast. When you're in a depressed state, or when you're negative, when you're completely negative, do a fast. Do a fast. Because this is gonna like literally break through whatever is going on. And thank God I have now this knowledge that I know how to break through things. I didn't know this. I had to literally go through so much to get here. But basically, I fasted the whole day, and at 5 p.m. I'm like, literally, it's not even my mind telling me, something else telling me, wait, this is not for you. You need to quit. You don't belong here. Because I really feel like I didn't belong there. I feel like a foreigner. Like, what am I doing here? I feel like sometimes you know that you're too good for something, and you're just lowering yourself to a zero, and you're like, what am I doing here next to these people, like with low standards and in a really ugly place, like so it was like the funny thing is how I quit. It was like all of a sudden, working the whole day, 5 p.m. I'm like, you know what? By the way, I don't think I'm gonna continue working. And I literally make the resignation letter and everything in like 2 minutes. I was like, here's my letter. Not gonna be here anymore. And God pulled me through doing another career, which is, I feel like, the career of my life. Imagine, I had this license, which I want to keep secret just because I want to keep it private. But this career, I had the license for like 9 years, and I haven't executed. Imagine that. I feel like it's meant to be, and God is calling me for it. But yeah. So, and then I was without a job for like a month, a month and a half. Yes, yeah, like a month and a half. And then I got a job in the field that I'm licensed 9 years ago, literally. So all this to say is that God is gonna guide you through your purpose. You just have to literally follow. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Okay? Because things are gonna align the way you want them to align if you just let yourself be guided. And fighting the freaking devil. Fighting the freaking devil. You know how I fight the freaking devil? I try my best to get out of my bed and do like a long walk in the nature. Look at this. This is like 5 miles, guys. So this is the best meditation that you can get. If you live in a good neighborhood, even better. If you live in a bad neighborhood, I don't really recommend it. However, I recommend you to go to a gym and just put audios from God, and audios that are gonna nourish you, not only from God, but that are like good self-development audios. And this is how you fight the negativity. Because let me tell you guys, some people just talk about exercising and do all this and do all that, and I would say 70% of people are fighting demons right now, bigger than them. This is why you need God, because like you're not fighting another person, you're fighting a spirit, a negative spirit. This is why you need God in your mind. The first thing you gotta do every single day is to wake up and listen to an app. Listen to something really, really positive and giving thanks to God. Because literally, some people, I'm not saying everyone, I'm saying some people, since they're born, they're fighting demons. Believe me. And I've seen it. And I've seen what God has done in my life that, if I tell you, well, we can be here forever. But bad companies, bad decisions, and God always like show up in a way that I never really understood, but I know it was God. It was like God guiding me through a friend, to a comment, I don't know, through a good thought, like in a moment that I really needed it. So when you're making a decision, always pray first and ask, what is the best decision for me? What should I do? And you should have your answer within a couple of days. You're gonna see, or maybe within a month, because sometimes God doesn't answer immediately, like within a couple of days. Sometimes He answers within a month or 2 months, a couple months. But you do your best, literally. You do your best and you give your 100%, and God will work out the rest. What is your best? Your best is simply waking up as early as you can. Do the best thing you can do to nourish your mind, to listen to positive things. I would say to read the Bible a little bit if you can, because some people don't understand the Bible, and I completely understand why, but at least read a page or read a paragraph if you can, something. And exercise your body, because we live in a society that is so comfortable, so lazy. We don't get enough movement because everything is so freaking easy. Everything is just too easy. Like, we literally get up, we go to work in a car. Well, some people have bicycles and all that, but that's 1% of people in the world. But as soon as we wake up, we go to work, and what we do? We get into a car. We don't walk enough. Some people have, like, let's say waitresses and all that, they walk a lot, they have their exercise through the day, but some people don't. So you gotta make exercise your priority, because literally you're fighting the demons like that. You're fighting the demons like that because you are not giving them the pleasure of seeing you stagnant, fat, ugly. What do you do when you move? You're literally losing weight. You're losing calories. You're getting more beautiful. And what did the devil want? See you ugly, fat, stagnant, blocked. Don't move. That's what the enemy wants. So, exercise is a priority in my life. Sometimes, like I said, I've been fighting demons my whole life. Literally, I feel like this doesn't come not from me. It comes from my ancestors. This is something that I'm literally, sometimes I feel like I've been the chain breaker of my generation, because this comes from my dad's family and my mom's family as well. They both have a lot of shit going on. Like, literally, sorry for the word, but they did. They had a lot going on spiritually that it was literally like a chain of bad stuff. Like, and I feel like in my family, I'm the most spiritual awakened person, along with, I would say, one of my brothers, but I don't know if he's older yet. But I always been kind of like, I don't want to say, no, I'm not the black sheep, but I'm more like, I don't go with the flow. I go against the flow of everyone. I like to think my own thoughts, and I like to have my own reasoning, and I like to have my own, like, way to be. And you can say it's green, but if I see that is blue, and I check that is blue, I'm gonna say it's blue. I don't care what you say. But yeah, some people are crossing the street. Some people literally are like that. They don't follow the crowd. They go against the crowd. And I always been like that. Always been like that. Like, I'm just not a follower. I like to make my own thing. I'm a creative person. I like to create my own thing. So So yeah, what are you letting consume your day? Because sometimes we can't live through our full potential and or 100% because we're letting things consume our day. Like some people literally are losing their minds watching video games or playing video games or losing their minds staying at home all day. You really need nature, literally nature. You need to get out and breathe fresh air. I don't care how hot it's outside. I don't care. You know how hot it's outside right now? Probably like 110 degrees right now. And I'm here. And yes, it's a sauna. I know it's a sauna. It's my sauna. And it's my meditation space where I can get to literally unblocked myself. So, yeah, you need to get out. Those things literally heal you. When you're outside and you see the butterflies literally flying, look at that. I don't know if you can see it. But when you see the nature, when you breathe the air, when you see the sun hitting the flowers, this is so healing. Like there's nothing more healing than that. There's nothing that gets better than that. And I live in a suburban area where I get a lot of that, but obviously if you don't live in a place where it has a lot of nature, go to a park. Somewhere that you can breathe fresh air. Literally these things unlock you and unblock whatever's going on in you or within you. Is gonna unblock it. Go to the water. When you go to the water, when you go to the beach and you sit there, you let the water run your body. Those things are the most healing things that you can do. It literally heals your mind. And sometimes we need that to continue life. We need that. We need to touch grass, to touch the earth, to touch soil, to know that we are here, we're human, we're still living. Because life can be a routine, mundane thing where you lose yourself in work, you lose yourself in due diligence, and you lose yourself in random stuff that has nothing to do with your purpose, has nothing to do with your mental health, and we lose ourselves in all of that. So to combat it, you need to link yourself with nature I would say every week at least. I know that you cannot do it every day because, maybe not everyone is capable of doing that, but at least every week. You need at least every week to go to a park or to go to the beach. A beach that I would say go to a beach that is a little bit more solitary, not so full of people, because to reconnect with nature, you need to be by yourself sometimes with nature. So those are my advices for you to unlock. And another one that I would say I forgot about, but is the most important one ever, is to pray. Pray to God to give you that strength that you need for the everyday, to continue life, to fight, to exercise. Pray to God to give you health and fighting those nasty freaking demons that some of us have. So yes, those are my advices. I hope you guys like it, and see see you in the next one.